Hi! It is I, Dr. Rushi. I'm Rushi. I have always been and will always be Rushi. Hello, everyone! So let me just, give me 1 second. Let me fix something real fast. There we go. Yes, I am Dr. Rushi. We can go with that name. Hello, everyone that I've totally met before. I'm just gonna sink it a little bit more. There we go. And boop. There we go. My 3 favorite Rushi's 3 favorite activities. Gonna go with the logical route here. Standing in a field. Touching weird jewelry. And what else would you like? What else would I like? What else would I like? I really like drinking beer. That's it. That's the 3 my 3 favorite activities. There you go. Nice necklace. Where'd you get it? I got it from a weird testing site that I totally did not escape out of right after. No siree, no siree. I am not sus. I would never vent. I would never vent. Nope, 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 nope. I would never vent. But I thought that it would be funny for my lovely friends and followers that I've known my entire life to read some classified information from the SCP Foundation that I'm totally not gonna get hunted after for. So how would y'all like it if we were to read a nice little list about things that I mean, Dr. Bride, never heard of that fellow. I've heard he's absolutely handsome though. Absolutely amazing fellow. Absolutely handsome fellow and smart too. Ooh, and hot. Very, very hot. Very hot. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. I've heard. I've heard. Things that Dr. Bride is not allowed to do at the SCP Foundation. Oh my goodness gracious. Classified government documents. Yeah! Let me grab the list. Let me grab the list. Let me grab the list. I've got the list right here. Got my list on the screen. Oh, you're O4 clearance. This is I would not know what that is. I'm very happy for you though. You'll never catch me. But here's a beautiful excerpt called "The Things Dr. Bright is Not Allowed to Do at the Foundation." And if there's any questions or things that might be not entirely clear, I'll make sure to explain a little bit. And I totally did not know it out of myself. I will have to read it, of course. Alright. Number 1. Dr. Bright is not allowed to feed anything with peanut butter to Kane. Telling new researchers that you can tame SCP-682 with rolled up newspaper and a tummy rub is right out. Alright, y'all wanna know who SCP-682 is? Indestructible reptile. And totally evil. This bastard would kill everything if he had the chance. Not that I know, I had to read that, of course. Regenerating Croco. Yeah, pretty much. You're no longer allowed to challenge Abel to unwinnable games, like tic-tac-toe. It was 3 weeks before Abel conceded a draw. SCP-018 is not to be taunted. Okay, let me read this up. Let's go for the description. SCP-018 has the appearance of a Super Bowl made by the Wemo Company in 1969. It is 6 centimeters in diameter and colored red. Found when the company was hired to clean out a warehouse that had Wemo merchandise in it. SCP-0818 has noted to be able to bounce with extreme height. At first thought to be a pleasant child's toy, SCP-0818 was able to bounce with over 200% efficiency. That is, if dropped 1 meter. It would bounce 2, then 4, then 8, then 16. The ball soon became a dangerous projectile, reaching speeds estimated at over 100 kilometers an hour, and damaging property and injuring 5 in the city of Redacted. It came to a rest after several days in a nearby lake of Redacted, and was retrieved by SCP personnel. Due to the speed of the object and total surprise by victims, no cover-up story was required or initiated. Anyway, do not throw this at people. Do not throw this at people. I should not throw this at people, but I'm still gonna. Giving 113 to Diogenes. I studied Greek mythology. I should know this. Diogenes. Or, well, let's see. Oh, SCP-113 resembles a small polished piece of red jasper. Analysis shows that SCP-113 is not composed of jasper, but redacted composition similar to that of other recovered objects. When SCP-113 comes in direct contact with flesh of an organism possessing sex chromosomes, the organism's physical characteristics with gender and biological sex are transformed, including genetics and secondary sexual characteristics, either reversed or altered. In other words, instant sex change. Alright, one more. Attempting to disprove 343 is a horrible idea. Agents are still studying the resulting paperweight, supposedly so heavy that 343 could not be able to lift it. In case you haven't caught on, that is pretty much, it's pretty much God. It's God. That's all you need to know. SCP-343 is God. While it is true that no one expects the SCP Inquisition, that is only because there is no such thing. Yes, there is. I've seen them. I mean... Dr. Bright is not king of anywhere. Or queen. Which is a lie, by the way. I am in fact the king of Fairy Tale Land. And you can't disprove otherwise. I am the king of the Emerald City. That's it. Oh, no, actually, I mean, Dr. Bright is not the king of the Emerald City. I am the king of the Emerald City. SCP-963, which is the amulet I'm wearing right now, is not to be used for recreational or procreational purposes. No. Pendant stays on. Nope. Although it is entirely possible to use SCP currently under control of the Foundation to create tentacle monsters, no. Not even if Dr. Palmer asks nicely. There is no market for SCP brand pornography. No. Not even in Germany. Not even in Germany! Should not replace the bookshot in Dr. Clef's shotgun shells with any of the following: birdseed, confetti, cake sprinkles, sawdust, or glitter. The Better Business Bureau is not the correct agency for dealing with containment failures from horrible eldritch artifacts sold by Marshall, Carter, and Dark. Victims of 218 are not toys, nor are they used to be used as props at a steampunk convention. For the record, SCP-217 is a virus that will turn anyone that comes into contact with it into pipes, gears, and other things you would associate with machines. It would basically turn you into a machine and completely immobile. Dr. Wright is not allowed to bargain with personnel for their souls, not even if he can get them a good deal. Aw, that was fun. Don't let Dr. Bright get a sample of SCP-379. Let my laptop be the last victim. For record, SCP-379... SCP-379 is a translucent, pale, silver liquid contained in a small crystal bottle. The bottle is toppled with an atomizer cap which delivers approximately 1/2 milliliter of the clear substance inside the bottle. The bottle itself has no noted properties of any particular interest. However, the liquid inside, while scentless and ineffective to normal human beings, has the strange effect of inducing a state not unlike human infatuation upon electric and mechanical devices when applied to a person or some object. Any machines or electronics in the vicinity, aside from those wearing SCP-379, will begin running in an overheated state, unable to process as many commands and consuming more energy. It pretty much makes your computer fall in love with you. It's pretty much let the mechanics fall in love with you. Not allowed to go off my medication. May not use any form of the word accident as an excuse. But it was an accident. Violate the dress code, even on casual Fridays. No matter how many times you say, please, Dr. Bright, we won't put any of the hats you've been asking about into the dress code. Ah, shit, I might not... If I were Dr. Bright, I don't think my hat would apply to the standards. If an SCP file says never to do something, it is not because we want to control your mind. Yes, it is. No, it is not. And Dr. Bright may not edit this document. SCP-437 is not to be handed out as weaponry to unsuspecting new researchers. I legitimately don't remember this one. Okay. Transfer has been established around 430... SCP-437 is a large grove of trees. Located in Camp Lakewood, Illinois, USA. It contains 64 instances of SCP-437-A. 437A are numerous trees common to North America. Each instance has several cankers, atypical interior structures, see below, and rather than sap, contains significant quantities of human blood. SCP-437 was discovered by the Foundation in 2011, 20 years after the summer camp's closure. Employment records for Camp Lakewood have not been found. All persons who attended Camp Lakewood during the summer of 1991 are persons of interest and are currently at large. Live trees. The trees are alive. For 20J? Yeah, I did. Data rejected on 05 request. Not even for recreational use. Not allowed to send Nigerian-esque spam email to the Church of the Broken God. But it worked. It worked. In my defense, it worked. Not allowed to lead a mobile task force against a UIU under any circumstances without inviting Dr. Clef at all. In fact, just stay 500 feet away from any mobile task force at all times. Not allowed to end reports with lyrics from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but is allowed to end with the lyrics from the safety dance. The interpretive dance routine, however, is forbidden until he gets lessons for the foreseeable future. Oh, it was a sword that cut off the user's limbs? Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Dr. Bride is not allowed anywhere near a Renaissance festival. Ah, shit, there goes my Saturday plans. Especially not with D class and garb. SCP-963, again, my beautiful new necklace, is not a joy buzzer. If a mind-controlling SCP is discovered, it is to be turned over to the proper authorities. It is not to be used to advance himself or any other higher in the Foundation. Kondraki. Dr. Bright is not a superhero of any sort, head of public relations, in charge of orientation for new staff, a doctor of psychology, a member of Site Command, made out of bacon, in possession of an IQ over 300, head of SCP review, or a member of maintenance staff. Sorry boys, Dr. Bright is a member of the Site Command. It's usually best not to ask why. It's 05 Command you're thinking of. There is no ethics committee. And if there was, does anyone believe Dr. Bright would be on it? The best part is there actually is an ethics committee. There is an ethics committee. I did not lie about this. There is an ethics committee. As anything other than what not to do. No longer allowed to make up Jodies for morning calisthenics. Yes, this includes the Mickey Mouse Club song. Aww, but that was the best part of the day. Dr. Bright is not allowed to apply SCP-963, again, my pendant, to any major political figures. Again. Dr. Bright is not from an alternative timeline. Dr. Bright cannot issue orders to preserve the timeline, or to corrupt the timeline, or to screw with those history nerds. Dr. Bright is not allowed to challenge anyone to a duel, and then give them to SCP-573. 572. I cannot read. SCP-572. SCP-572 is the Sword of the Redacted, model manufactured by the Redacted. The weapon is badly balanced for combat use, is made of substandard steel, and does not hold an effective combat wedge. Yep, this is the one where they cut off things. Yep, this is the sword that cuts off your own limbs. Here it is. Found it. Found it. I know someone to give this to. I know someone to give this to. I have no idea what the other one was. No clue. Dr. Bride is not allowed near SCP-5555-J in any way or any excuse. Remember that the miniature version remember what the miniature version did to Dr. Redacted. Alright, let's see what it does. First encounter. At last, my genius has been recognized. I've been contacted by the Overseers to begin work on an SCP of extreme importance. SCP-9... Testing log. SCP-953. A tiny fox lady near to bouncing out the walls with energy. Upon initial creation, she jumped on the D-class, kissed him on the lips, shoved her claws through his nostrils, fondled it, and then bit his throat out. She proceeded to massacre the other 3Ds in the testing rooms. Before gas was applied, the remains were incinerated. Something more stable for the next one. Dr. Wrights, that's the one. Dr. Gears, Dr. Clef, Dr. Glass, Dr. Iceberg, Dr. Jack Bright. Here we go. I wouldn't know who this is. No. A miniature orangutan wearing SCP-963. Oh, hey, that's fine. Attempt to transfer 963 resulted in a new wearer becoming a miniature orangutan. Removal of 963 brought back the wearer with no harm done. Mini Bride remained in custody. That's it. It pretty much kind of clones. But makes them smaller and more aggressive. Dr. Clef and Dr. Bride are not allowed to interact without the presence of a responsible administrator. 1. Dr. Kondraki does not count as a responsible administrator. Nor does Agent Stelnikov. Or Dr. Mann. In fact, let's just keep the two of them apart. Period. Chainsaws are not the solution to every question, nor is more chainsaws. Or chainsaw cannons. Except that one time, and yes, it was awesome. SCP speed dating never happened. Anyone who claims to remember such an event should report to Site Command for administration of Class A Amnesiac. Dr. Bride is not allowed to use any SCP to alter or affect the outcomes of any reality-based television shows, including, but not limited to, Survivor, Big Brother, Hell's Kitchen, American Idol, or any dating show on VH1. Not even if Dr. Wrights asks nicely. No, it doesn't matter that they are both consenting adults, no matter how much either of them argue otherwise. Dr. Wrights is not allowed to spank the monkey. Nor is she allowed to shock the monkey. Or anything else related to the monkey. Yes, chainsaws are not the answer, it's the question. The answer is always yes. Simple. SCP-082 is not to be given song requests, especially not Like a Virgin. What's that one? SCP-082 is genetically human. However, through some process, either chemical, hormonal, cancerous, or supernatural, SCP-082 has grown to giant proportions, approximately 2.4 meters tall and weighing over 310 kilograms. Oh, great. Oh, it's Fernand. It's Fernand the cannibal. It's Fernand the cannibal. That's what's going on here. Accidentally spilling green gelatin on a dead body in the presence of the O5 was funny exactly once. And the smell of excrement exuding from the O52's khakis spoiled the moment. Dr. Bride is no longer allowed to utter the phrase, "more than 1,000 babies," in the presence of any SCP personnel. Nothing in the Foundation is rated over 9,000! Stop posting classified information on 4chan. No using SCP-705 for personal gain, or to planned monitoring equipment. And absolutely no giving them tons of extra Play-Doh just to see what they can make. That mecha was damn annoying. SCP-705 is I think the toy that makes... Wait, I think... Yeah, let me see. It's pretty much Live Play-Doh. Live Play-Doh. Live Play-Doh. If it involves doing something wrong, it isn't right. If it involves doing something right, you did it wrong. If Dr. Bright has to ask, it's above his clearance level. If it's above Bright's security clearance, run. Dr. Bright is not allowed to declare war on any country, thing, or person. What? Why did Dr. Bright do that? Deserved it. Foundation credit cards are expensive accounts. Foundation credit cards or expensive accounts are not to be used to purchase pornography. Not even anomalous pornography. Dr. Bright is not a marital aid and cannot refer to himself as such, especially on official documents. Dr. Bright is not the Lord of Rodley Might, and is hereby banned from playing Dungeons & Dragons, making use of SCPs to simulate the real danger. They're good. But I wanted to do that again. I mean, that would have been an amazing D&D plan, right? Right, chat? Chat, help me out here. Chat, right? Chat, help me out. Would SCPs be great for Dungeons and Dragons? Help me out. Help me out. Tell me. I want to hear it from y'all. Dr. Bright is not allowed to go to fan conventions, let alone use them as recruitment drives. Especially not at furry conventions. When writing a report, more detail is expected than object class, keter, special containment procedures, data expunged, description, data expunged. And inventing new security clearances just so nobody can see what you've written is also considered poor form. Showing Monty Python episodes to SCP-239 was not a wise decision. Please never try this with any other reality warping SCP. Is that the spooky one? Where is it? An 8-year-old girl. Yep, it's the witch. It's the witch. Pretty much, she can change reality to be whatever she wants it to be. That's it. For the Emperor is not an acceptable justification for any decision. My evil twin did it is no longer considered a viable excuse. Nor is my good twin did it, considering the implications. They know about that? Yes, forum trolls are annoying. No, they don't automatically become D-class personnel. Dr. Bright is not allowed to send emails with memetic hazards attached. Not even when replying to spam. They got it coming, right? Right? They got it coming. The ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny is not grounds to pit more than 15 competitive SCPs, including 6A2 and Abel, against each other. Weeding out some of these angsty teens with attitude problems, however, is. Dr. Bright is not allowed to administer free hugs. Not allowed to kick SCP-2558J. It is a dodgeball. It's a very evil dodgeball. In normal circumstances, SCP-5228J appears to be a group of normal oh, never mind. Don't kick kittens. Don't kick kittens. Oh, they fall. They teleport into a ball. That's it. They teleport into a ball. They inflate into a ball of fluff roughly the size of a soccer ball. Their eyes are still visible through the fluff, and they begin mewling in a way that induces semi-parental instincts in a nearby, including the hearing impaired. Their range of motion is limited to anywhere they can roll, but they display surprising agility. Agility even when attempting to navigate a cluttered environment in full bar form. Pretty much, kitten ball. Do not kick the kitten ball. Any proposal which includes the phrase metric fuckload is straight out denied. Instances of SCP-255-AJ-EX are not to be spooked when being held by members of O5. No instances of SCP-255-AJ should be anywhere near at O5, let alone SCP-255-AJ-EX. The Foundation motto is Secure, Contain, Protect, and not any of the following. Stab carry on powerfully! Let's use it on 682! Throw the cheese! That's it. You're on keto duty. Can we put it in 914? Blood makes the grass grow. Kill! 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 Fuck trees. I climb clouds, motherfucker. Someone is getting stabbed. But some days, it should be. SCP-255-AJ-EX is pretty much kittens that stop turning into balls, I think. Whose hand is that? If all else fails, poop on it. If all else fails, there's always the sun. We need bigger kittens. Society of creepy perverts. Fuck death, war, famine, and pestilence. We've got Clev, Gear, Kondraki, and Bright. Throw T-Class at it until it stops. 447 of dead bodies. Two great tastes that taste great together. The FBI are a bunch of pansies. Who wants to see what I can make the president do in public? For the Horde! Science for the science god! Rest in peace, Technoblade. Make sure to wipe your feet on 5228. 2558. When in doubt, feed it to 682. Slapstick, clowns, and puns. Drop the blanket now! Seduction coin is a pregnancy. We always need more DACA. Still alive and found the cake. Don't worry, O5 won't ever figure it out. Will it blend? Hommies love us. Snack, crackle, and pop. Dr. Wright is no longer allowed to play Hippocratic Oath chicken with the medical staff. A full minute of stunned silence means, oh my god, what did you do? Not, please continue. Pranks placed into new staff's desks are not funny because they liquefied in record time. Attempts to use Foundation radio telescopes to contact omniscient and omnipotent extraterrestrial entities will result in a bill for any damage to local space-time, including the cost of demoting objects to dwarf planet status. Despite his doctoral degree, Dr. Bright is not allowed to prescribe or administer any of the following: Anemus, homeopathic remedies, any sort of medication, free hugs, the healing power of laughter, and more cowbell. Ding ding ding. I got a fever. And the only cure is more cowbell. Dr. Bright is no longer allowed to offer the solution of use more guns to any problem. Or get bigger guns. Despite what he may say and any evidence. No matter how plausible, the SCP Foundation has never and will never be associated with Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And regardless of what Dr. Bright may say, he is not, and I quote, a real-life wizarding tutor. Nor is he a vampire. That was body glitter and bad acting. And despite what the computer file on him may say, he is not mud deep. The spice can flow just fine without him. I butchered that name. The Tamlin House School of Witchcraft and Wizardry is just a plain bad idea. If Dr. Bright is ever found under the influence of any recreational substance, he must immediately be contained under level 15 containment. If you want to know why, please refer to the security tapes for Redacted between the hours of Redacted AM and Redacted PM. If Dr. Bright is found deliberately getting high to get out of paperwork, he is to be placed in a Type 4 cell and hosed down with cold water from a pressurized hose for no less than 5 minutes. Maybe this will teach you that drugs are bad, okay? Drugs are bad, okay? Cthulhu and Relie are not valid reasons to send Pandora's box out into the Pacific Ocean in order to capture them. Furthermore, there are not even SCPs, and I will find the person who decided to enter a database file for them. These are not even SCPs, and I will find the person who decided to enter a database file for them. Dr. Bright is not allowed to upload visual mimetic kill agents to 4chan, 7chan, any image board. Well, okay, maybe to 4chan. It'd be doing the gene pool service. Dr. Bright cannot change the standard issue D-class uniform to black pants with red polo shirt. I see your reasoning, but we just don't want to be associated with Star Trek. No matter how many times he may claim it, no matter how many uniforms we may confiscate, Dr. Bright is not a ninja. Nor has he ever been. No! Not even if he uses SCP-281 to do it. You just see that. SCP is a makeshift device measuring approximately 25 by 35 by 20 centimeters. Built into the device is a high-capacity lithium-ion laptop battery to provide power. In addition, the object incorporates a variety of components such diverse as Philips brand alarm clock, a digital kitchen timer of a known made and model, a NEC PC2801A portable computer, and a USB keypad. Brand unknown. Attempts to reverse engineer it has thus far not yielded any significant results. SCP-281 is currently not believed to be functioning as intended by its creator. I think this one changed. Or he uses it to get really fast. There are no security codes for Zombie Conga Line, Badass Hat, the Vampire Can, but it should be. Disco Corpse, Intense Homoeroticism, Extreme Crotch Violence, Man Disguised as a Palm Tree, Man with a Porn Stash, Kung Fu Rasta, Puppy Eating Monks, Justifiable Homicide of all you dumbass mother humpers, Bright Family Reunion, Code Brown. Find a place to hide and make sure you leave an offering of booze outside your door. Dr. Kondraki Beach Party. Oh, I'm gonna kill someone for the Bright Family Reunion one. Oh. Just because Bright is a doctor does not mean that he is the doctor, no matter how many British men he possesses. No, SCP-963 is not proof against this. Nor is any structure that results from placing SCP-184 inside of a police call box. Adopting female members of the staff and calling them companions is right out. SCP-297 is not a sonic screwdriver. Doctor Who? SCP-184 makes big rooms and everything. Let me see. It pretty much creates new rooms within created rooms. It's pretty much the TARDIS. Pretty much. Yep, nope, not reading that. Not reading that. While humor can be an effective way to improve staff morale, it is highly appropriate to make your mom jokes in the vicinity of 597. Yep, nope, never mind. Nope, not touching that one, nope. Dr. Bright may not classify any researcher, including himself, as a mimetic hazard. Dr. Bright is no longer allowed to accept or use the following as payment for bets. Your soul? Anyone else's soul? virgin's blood, SCPs, reproductive organs, memories, real or imagined, pieces of your past. I have no idea how that worked with Clef, but apparently he can do it. Island of Manhattan, beads, firstborn children, second-born children, red-headed stepchildren, rented mules, gold spun from straw, a child's laughter, a child's tears, ponies, anyone's grandmother, anyone's grandfather, anyone's sister, or any blood relative for that matter. No matter how many times he photoshops himself into a picture of SCP-682, and no matter how many Australians he possesses, Dr. Bride is not, and never was, the crocodile hunter. Nor does every SCP/D class really hate it when you jam your thumb up their bum. And he is not allowed to do that right now. I really hate it when you jam your thumb up their bum. He's not allowed to do that right now. As funny as Incident 387682 was, Dr. Bride is not allowed to unsupervised access to SCP-387. Researchers are still trying to figure out how an animate model of 682 was so invulnerable, despite only being made out of just plastic blocks. For reference, SCP-387 is Lego that's also sentient, and it can pretty much create anything. Dr. Bride... well, whatever you build out of it, yeah. You can... whatever you build out of it, it comes to life. Dr. Bride is not allowed to tell their new researchers experimenting on SCP-168 to divide by 0. Wait, Dr. Bride is not allowed to tell new researchers experimenting on SCP-168 to divide by 0, find the square root of -1, or find the last digit of pi using the SCP. Dr. Redacted is still in comatose, and 168 itself is quite displeased with the event. SCP-168 is pretty much a very, very smart calculator. It's a sentient calculator, that's all I need to know. Dr. Bride is not allowed to use examples from Star Trek when administering Turing tests to artificial intelligences of any sort. Computer hardware does not grow on trees, damn it! Dr. Bride is not allowed to plant SCP-2383-J into science labs. We're still picking up complaints from the office of Stephen Hawking. No, not even for the good of science, or even as science for the science god. Dr. Bride is also not allowed to refer to himself as such either. What's that one? What's that one? Remote surveillance has shown that SCP-2383 be an empty, redacted brand beaker. However, interviews with test subjects have resulted in varying descriptions, from a test tube containing a boiling green liquid to an Erlenmeyer flask containing smoke. The range of effect... oh, it changes for everyone. That's a bad idea. I have no idea what this is. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go. Dr. Bride is not allowed to use SCP-587 to reenact a locker scene from Men in Black, nor play Godzilla with its inhabitants. Nor is he allowed to set himself up as God to them. Testing between SCP-786 and SCP-587 is also banned. David and Goliath scenarios are just as harmful to its inhabitants as the Godzilla incident. Dr. Bride is not allowed to use SCP-786 to simulate Drawer Fortress. I think I know what SCP-587 is, but I'm gonna look to be sure. It's a diorama where people actually live. And SCP-786. Oh, it makes things smaller and bigger depending on how you go through it. Dr. Bride is not allowed to show SCP-682 any of the following. Any Away Bull movies, The Room, Troll 2, Manos, The Hands of Fate, Movies considered so bad they're good, and movies considered cult classics. You know what? Dr. Bright is just not allowed to show SCP-682 any movies at all, ever. Dr. Bright is not allowed to claim SCP-014-J has breached containment, and then leave a dining fork in a hallway. Oh no. It is a antique dinner form, well worn and as near as the stimulated not clean since the 1890s. Oh, I don't think they know what it is. I think the joke is they don't know what it is, which makes it funny to put in the hallway. Not that I did. Dr. Bright is not 05J. No such positions exist at the time. At this time. Dr. Bright is not allowed to give SCP-239 a copy of any Harry Potter books. What did you do? SCP-239 is again that witch girl. The reality-bending witch girl. Dr. Bright is not allowed to use SCP-141 to give people parking tickets. 141? There's a small leather-bound codex dating back to Roman times, easily carried in the one hand. Despite its great age, it never required any additional signs of wear and tear beyond that. Pages are written in Roman Republic. Oh, there's legal cases in it. There's legal cases. Dr. Bright is not allowed to send anything into the past, future, or to alternative dimensions. Dr. Bright is not allowed to accuse people of being duplicates of himself with the intention of having him terminated, unless they actually are duplicates of himself. Dr. Clef is not allowed to convince people Dr. Bright is a copy of him. Dr. Bright may not put a cup of orgasm on SCP-294 through 914 on the very fine setting, given the results of interesting requests. I'm not even going. I can't read that one. I can't even read that one. I don't know what it is. I can't read that one. I don't know. Dr. Bright is not allowed to make, accept, or take a rake off on bets concerning XK class and other world scenarios. Dr. Bright is no longer allowed access to SCP-732. Infected documents along with SCP-239. MTF Lambda 2 has been dispatched to contain Chowder Clef. Chowder Clef is over 9,000. It's invisible. I wish you should. Oh, hell yeah, I'm a monster fucker. I mean, Dr. Bright is a monster fucker. I don't think I can. I don't think I can read this. I don't think I can read this. You would have got to skip 99. Dr. Bright is not allowed to get on the PA system at side 19 and announce that he just won the game. You know what? Dr. Bright is just never allowed on the PA system for any reason, ever. Dr. Bright is not allowed to request access to all cubicle SCPs to make forts of any kind. Dr. Bright is not allowed to play hot potato with SCP-963. I wouldn't do that. Dr. Bright is not allowed to arrange, schedule, advertise, promote, or sell tickets to cage matches between Able and SCP-682. Any SCPs. You know what? Any SCPs. We don't care how many O5s agree to it and how many precedents there are. Dr. Bright is not allowed to pet SCP. Dr. Bright is not allowed to combine a cadaver infested with SCP-008 with SCP-217. which are both very, very dangerous diseases. One of them is the zombie virus and the other one is the gear virus. Dr. Brights and Clef are no longer allowed to engage in research. Any activity involving 40 gallons more than a pound, any amount of super balls. Alright, Jason. What you doing here? Wait. Did you gonna let the cat? There we go. He has been cuddled. Also, the aforementioned are not to convince, blackmail, compel D-class personnel, anybody into conducting such activities with them. Challenge accepted is not a valid excuse for anything. Dr. Bright is not allowed to lease out SCP-002, even, especially if he includes the option to buy. Dr. Bright is not allowed to dress up as Joseph Stalin and ambush Agent Strelnikov in the hallways. Actually, Dr. Bright shouldn't be allowed to dress up as any communist dictator. There is no way it could end well. Also, SCP-002? It is the living ball. Well, it's the living room. It's a ball, and if you go inside it, you're gonna be turned into furniture. Okay, cursed Johnnies. Dr. Bright is not to be allowed access to the cafeteria menu more than a day in advance, 6 hours in advance at all. Nor is he to get anyone else to access it for him, directly or indirectly. Dr. Bright is not allowed to introduce small children to the giving tree. Ooh. SCP-038. It clones people. It clones people. Oh no. Dr. Bright is not allowed to borrow SCP-159 for his office. It's an open sign. That's it. Dr. Bright is not allowed near any carbonated beverages while in possession of Mentos branded mints. The last time that happened, he somehow managed to cause an earthquake in the far coast of the United States. Dr. Bright is not allowed to claim responsibility for earthquakes and other natural disasters unless he's actually responsible for them. Dr. Bright is not allowed to dare new personnel, anyone, to play peekaboo with either SCP-569 or SCP-173. I think you all know SCP-173, right? Christopher SCP created. It's the statue that, it's pretty much a weeping angel. And SCP-569, which one was it again? Oh, that's a lot of heads. Pretty much also weeping angels. When ordering things online, send them to P.O. Box redacted and not directly to Site 19. We've already had 3 postmen show up at the front door. How did they even find us? Dr. Bright is not to give directions to Site 19 to non-Foundation personnel. Dr. Bright is no longer allowed to give navigational directions to Site 19 anywhere, even, especially, to Foundation personnel. The SCP Foundation does not have any such position as Chief Defenestrator. Wrong. Agent Clef is not allowed to create new positions. Any proposed containment procedures that include the phrase giant robot is to be automatically rejected. Excessive force is not the same as the Force. Therefore, using it does not make Dr. Bright a Jedi. It does! Dr. Bright is not allowed to use SCP-914 to craft items on Team Fortress 2. Yes, a medigun would be useful too for the Foundation medical staff. No, we are not going to waste any more SCP-500 attempting to make one. Especially not after SCP-427. I'm not going to read all of those. Dr. Wright is not allowed to use SCP-914. That is the pretty much a machine that can refine things for you. That's it. To craft items from Minecraft either. Also, your diamond pickaxe has been confiscated. Oh, dear. Dear. How dare. How dare you. How dare you. Dr. Bright is not allowed to tell future hosts that you are about to become very bright. And he can tell anyone that possession is 9/10 of the law. Dr. Bright is not allowed to refer to D-class personnel as extra lives. Dr. Bright is not allowed to send SCP-1004 over an email message. Let's look that one up, shall we? Nope. Nope. No matter the electricity savings, no product of SCP-158 is to be used for illumination. Let's look at it. A large mechanical arm. When used correctly upon a living organism that displays cognition, remove an unknown substance and transfer it through the dispersing device beneath the console. Oh boy. I have no idea what that was, but okay. Let's see. Here we go. SCP-001 is not Dr. Bright's dick. Oh, is this Soul Extractor? Oh my god. It is the Soul Extractor! So we can actually I can actually get their souls. The hammer is not his dick. Dr. Bright is not allowed to use his genitals for construction purposes. Dr. Bright possesses the ability of consciousness transfer and the artifact of SCP-963. He does not possess any of the following: laser eyes, laser nostrils, laser redacted, red, any lantern ring, an adamantium skeleton, Anduril, Mjolnir, I cannot say those words, the map leading to all of the gold, the ancient medallion, a copy of the Necronomicon, a King James version of the Necronomicon, cybernetic implants of any kind, the Dragon Sword, I don't care how you did it, put it back, the seventh element of harmony, infallible Gaydar, infallible Judar, the touch, the power, the secret, telepathy, telekinesis, the original filming model of any fictional spacecraft, 1338 hex, lead hexer scales, the sixth sense, the ability to distinguish between butter and I can't believe it's not butter. If Dr. Bright's current form is sighted near an armory without express permission. Initiate evacuation procedure. Redacted. Dr. Bright is not allowed to test SCP-826 with self-authored comic books entitled Dr. Bright and the 79 Virgins Playboy magazines. Anything. Just don't. Oh, Dr. Bright's a genius. Second best to only to me. You know your buds, lols. Dr. Bright is not allowed to give SCP-632 access to this document. Dr. Bright is not allowed to give any SCP access to this document without O5 approval. Dr. Bright is not allowed to tell new D-Class personnel that SCP-439 has escaped into the barracks. 439. Oh boy. Is an insect somewhat resembling a grayish drum bugs. It's pretty much gonna kill you. Bugs. I don't like bugs. Dr. Bright is not allowed to convince other personnel that they are actually Dr. Bright. Dr. Bright is not allowed to challenge SCP-082 to a drinking contest, even if he's positive he can win. We have never had a Jamaican vacation giveaway. Dr. Bright is not in charge of it, and SCP-342 is not the official Foundation travel voucher. Oh my god, that's the ticket, is it? It's the ticket, isn't it? It's a ticket that'll pretty much get you sent straight to hell. Perception increases. Yep. It's pretty much a train ticket that'll get you straight to hell. Dr. Bright is not allowed access to SCP-243, except under strict supervision. I think we all remember the Great Marital Aid Migration of 2011. Let's read that. It's a mouse. No clue what that is. Dr. Bright is not allowed to challenge Dr. Gerald to a race involving any sort of vehicle. Dr. Bright is not allowed to challenge Dr. Gerald to a race involving anything. Dr. Bright is not allowed to access the IT department hotline, access the IT department database, access any networking equipment belonging to the IT department. Dr. Bright is not to bring samples of SCP-1361 to Foundation potlucks, barbecues, or charity food drives. SCP-963 is not a soul gem, and making a contract with Dr. Bright will not turn you into a magical girl. Not even if he includes the magical girl outfit. SCP-963 is not the soul gem. Bright does not have access to the Infinity Gauntlet. Stop glaring at people who annoy you and snapping. Dr. Bright is not allowed to use SCP-137 or on any Hasbro product. SCP-137 is the thing. He's the brightest. He's the smartest, most handsome, and I would say sexy. It is pretty much something that will haunt any toy nearby. Under no circumstances is Dr. Bright allowed to expose SCP-137 to Warhammer 40k minifigures. Again, not even in an attempt to terminate SCP-682 or anything made by Wondertainment. Not allowed to have Abel get into arguments with forum trolls. Dr. Bright is not allowed to go trick-or-treating, ever. Oh. Aww. Aww. Abel is not Kratos. Dr. Bright is no longer allowed to produce, create, or remind staff of SCP Robot Wars. Copies of SCP-1981 are not to be submitted to America's Funniest Home Videos, or on YouTube, or YouPorn, or Tosh.no. Thanks for the subscribe. Hope you enjoy your stay. What's SCP-198? SCP-19181 is a standard cut up while talking. Oh, that one. Is that one pretty much messed up videos? Dr. Bright is not allowed to just say no to 05 orders on the grounds that they are instances of SCP-5200J. What are those, you might ask? Well, let's find out. Description: SCP-5200J is a phenomenon most commonly found in secondary school environments and on the street, where innocent inner-city kids are just trying to get by. SCP-5200J is a feeling that you have to give in to all the cool kids are doing, or else you won't be cool, right? Giving into SCP-5200J has many results. The most common being getting hooked on the wacky tobacco, dropping out of school, letting down on your schoolyard chums, not making the team, feeling down all the time, disappointing your parents, and death. Dr. Bright is also not allowed to refer to 05 Command MTF commanders as janitor, any Foundation personnel as the cool kids. Dr. Bright is not the final boss of anything. Yes, I am. Dr. Bright has not won the internet and is not authorized to declare that any other individual has done so, nor is he allowed to claim or distribute instances of SCP-335 under said premise. What is that? Is that a floppy disk with something on it? A floppy disk. It's a floppy disk. I don't know what's on the floppy disk, but it's a floppy disk. Dr. Bright is not allowed to take SCP-1187 for a morning ride. SCP-1187 being a blue 2006 Kazuma 150cc all-terrain vehicle. When the accelerator is engaged, SCP-1187 remains stationary while the surface beneath its wheels shifts horizontally towards the rear of the vehicle at an increasing rate of speed. SCP-1187 is capable of dragging a 3-meter wide and by 15-centimeter deep strip of terrain as speeds up to... It destroys roads. Dr. Bright is not allowed to submit any incident reports to the Darwin Awards, not even if you are sure it would win. Dr. Bright is not allowed to teach SCP-1370 to play multiplayer video games. It was not an improvement giving it the vocabulary of this average preteen redacted player, or introducing it to the concept of teabag. SCP-1370 is a self-aware artificial being constructed from various electrical devices and tools. It's a robot. The iPods do not need hats, bow ties, or any other forms of clothing. Dr. Bright is not allowed to use expunge data in SCP report as Mad Libs. Robo-Dude is not a piece of the broken god. Dr. Bright is not allowed to create an anatomically correct body pillow modeled after SCP-1973, SCP-105, SCP-999-J, SCP-0762, or Dr. Crow. The following are not appropriate sources for D-Class personnel: temp agencies, Craigslist, reality show talent pools, Jerry Springer tapings, orphans, urchins, ragamuffins, those sons of bitches who scratched up my paint job at the car wash, ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends, ex-partners of any gender variation whatsoever, staff members-in-laws, YouTube comment threads, forum trolls, angsty teens, bad applications to the SCP Foundation. 2 exceptions have been made, but the rest are off limits. Occupy Wall Street, the Tea Party, The Green Party. The Green Party. The Gathering of the Juggalos. How the fuck do they work? The following items are not SCPs. Rainbows. Double rainbows. Rainbooms, whether sonic or otherwise. The tides. The moon. Fucking magnets. Rocks that skip 3 times before they go underwater. Soy cheese. Hippies. Hipsters. MILFs. G-MILFs. GG-MILFs. Actually funny SNL skits. As these do not exist, they cannot be SCPs. Anyone's breasts. Anyone who can solve Rubik's Cubes of any size. Shiny. Any Pokemon. Nobody ever refers to Dr. Bright as Tim, and he is no longer allowed to introduce new personnel to SCP-524. Is a common white rabbit of the species shown the ability to be able to consume any material regardless of edibility. It eats in the same fashion as any other member of its species, though it can eat substances that are not only inedible but dangerous. It can eat anything. It can literally anything. The platypus is not an SCP. No, really, no. Not even an X. Dr. Bright is not allowed to test internet creepypasta rides using Class D personnel. SCP-963 is not a Millennium item. Dr. Bright should refrain from trying to convince SCP-237 to become a brony. Not even to impose his disposition. For that matter, trying to make SCP-042 a brony will just make things worse. Oh, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? I forgot what this is. Putting an equine, no matter how small, through SCP-914 on very fine again is strictly forbidding. No, you cannot keep it. The answer to a containment breach is never to recruit a team of teenagers with attitude, or to send 5 rings to 5 special young people, or to ask junior staffers if they are bad enough dudes to contain the breach. Dr. Bright is not allowed to claim he has been trained to conquer galaxies. Dr. Bright may not attempt to neutralize SCP-682 using the power of friendship, the power of love, or any sort of power which has not been proven to actually exist. Dr. Bright does not remind anyone of the babe with the power of voodoo, and is not allowed to tell anyone that they remind him of the same. The Chaos Insurgency has no interest in summoning daemons to the material universe to serve the ruinous powers of chaos, and therefore Dr. Bright is not permitted to inform new researchers otherwise. Dr. Bright is not allowed to write SCP-582 account in order to deal with junior staff members who get on his nerves. What is that one? What is that one? Is an adaptive self-propagating meme in the form of an entity most often referred to as redacted. Reality modification. Is this the Death Note? Is this the Death Note? This is the Death Note, without a doubt. Oh boy. Dr. Bright is not allowed to stick refrigerator magnets to Foundation equipment. SCP-914, SCP-882, SCP-217, victims, Piece of the Broken God, any magnetic objects within Foundation controls. SCP-1916 only works if administered orally. We know this. There is no reason to test further, Dr. Bright. Why not? It's not considered authorization for SCP cross-testing. The Foundation has no mobile task force dedicated to the capture and containment of foreign trolls. Dr. Bright is not allowed to found a new mobile task force dedicated to the capture and containment of foreign trolls. The Serpent's Hand is not a synonym for masturbation. Yo mama is not so ugly SCP-096 didn't look at her. SCP-173 is not a babysitter. Having SCP-173 play Where's the Baby is downright cruel. Not, as Dr. Bright claims, expletive hilarious. Dr. Bright is no longer invited to the annual Foundation holiday party. Dr. Bright is not allowed to host his own Foundation holiday party. The Foundation holiday party is cancelled indefinitely. SCP-682 does not have a Wondertainment logo stamped on its upper palate, or on its posterior. Playing the song Thriller in the presence of SCP-008 victims is expressively forbidden, which are zombies. Letting out SCP-008 victims and punching them to simulate Minecraft is also forbidden. Pushing several agents in front of SCP-008 victims to simulate Resident Evil is not a valid excuse either. Dr. Bright is no longer allowed near victims of SCP-008. SCP-682 will not be sated by the ritual sacrifice of a virgin. Filming, directing, or performing in celebrity sex tapes are not appropriate work assignments for Mr. Deeds. Mr. Deeds is a butler that will do literally anything you ask him to. Anything involving the words elephant sauce. Site-19 is still recovering from the last incident. Like a little junk in the trunk is not valid authorization to feed SCP-1575-1 to an elephant. Dr. Bright is under no circumstances to attempt possession of SCP-682. I touched SCP-1453 a little while ago is not a valid excuse for any containment breach. Let's test that one. Fire opal, blah 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 blah. Any individual who touches SCP-1453 will find themselves accused of a serious crime capable of destroying their reputation and good standing within their community. Yup. Dr. Bright is not allowed to use this list as a resume. Dr. Bright shall not, may not begin his sentences with thou shalt not, even especially in the presence of SCP-343. Use of double, triple, quadruple, any number of negatives to obtain security clearances will result in the repetition of kindergarten. Swift punishment. Dr. Bright is not allowed to recreate any experiment seen on the television program Mythbusters using any SCP. Especially not if he can do it better. Regardless of whether or not it exists, Dr. Bright certainly does not enjoy diplomatic immunity as the local consul of the Islamic Republic of Eastern Samatras. I do not know how to pronounce that. Dr. Bright is not allowed to put SCP-278 into SCP-914 on course, so I can learn to make more of them. Dr. Bright is not allowed to transfer, copy, upgrade, relocate SCP-079 onto any form of high-capacity data storage device. SCP-1156 is not Dr. Bright's royal steed. Yes, it is. Dr. Bright is not allowed to use SCP-1543-J to launch SCP-727-J into itself. Again. Even if Dr. Bright is wearing an eye patch, he is not allowed to keelhaul anyone. Not even on Talk Like a Pirate Day. Talk Like a Pirate Day is not allowed to be celebrated at Site Redacted. Any personnel violating this rule will walk the plank, be severely disciplined. There is no such thing as Talk Like a Ninja Day, and Dr. Bright is not allowed to create it. Introducing SCP-682 to SCP-002 just to see what happens is not recommended. Don't even think about it. I said stop thinking about it. Dr. Bright is no longer allowed to interview new personnel, especially not if they ask for him. Dr. Bright is not canny. We also ask new researchers and Bright to stop referring to himself as such. is not allowed to play SCP Roulette with SCP-173, a light switch and any combination of D-Class and new personnel. Dr. Bride is not to ask SCP-738, what would you want in exchange for not having this deal with me? SCP-738 is pretty much a deal maker. Dr. Bride works for the SCP Foundation, not the Terminus Foundation. He does not possess a degree in psychohistory, and no group of interest is the second foundation. The fact that SCP-682 regenerates all lost tissue does not make it an infinite hamburgers machine, most especially because they tasted horrible. Dr. Bride is not allowed to use SCP-127 to place projectiles under his pillow for the Tooth Fairy to give him money. Dr. Bride is not allowed to use SCP-252 ARC on Fred Phelps, any member of Phelps' family, any person or organization affiliated with the Westboro Baptist Church. Dr. Bride is not allowed to attempt to sick the Horizon Initiative on the above religious organization. Dr. Bride may not request a pool of D-Class recruited solely from members of the above religious organization. The Mana Charitable Foundation does not host an annual Labor Day telethon, and Dr. Bride is not allowed to offer the services of Foundation employees as performance or phone bank operators for such. Dr. Bride is not allowed to access the popular science magazine. That How 2.0 section is way too dangerous for Bride to see now that they've shown how to create cyborg cockroaches. I'm gonna read that. Dr. Bride is not allowed to go on a crusade or on jihad, or I butchered that. Or Dr. Bride is not permitted to issue fatwas against anyone or anything. Dr. Bride is no longer allowed to declare, after 10,000 years I'm free, it's time to conquer Earth, upon assuming a new host. All Foundation personnel are now required to attend a seminar on the difference between an original idea and a good idea before being allowed new or continuing contact with Dr. Bright, Dr. Clef, or Dr. Kondraki. Dr. Bright does not have 10 tons of gold hidden somewhere inside 19. SCP-963 is not to be given away as a good luck charm. Dr. Bright is not a wizard, no matter what he might tell you. He is not an alchemist either, and is not to be consulted regarding alchemical issues. Or a witch. Dr. Bright is not magic and cannot perform magic, and must give sufficient explanation for any actions he undertakes. Dr. Bright is not, nor has he ever been, the undisputed SCP Intercontinental Champion. Dr. Bright is no longer allowed to run through a Site-19 any site while screaming, "The Keter is loose!" unless it's an actual emergency. Claiming it's for research on the effects of social engineering is not an emergency, nor is using it to clear out the areas Dr. Bright is otherwise restricted from entering due to reasons given on this list. Dr. Bright may not start referring to any persons or SCPs as the Keter in order to circumvent these rules, unless they are actually classified as Keter. Dr. Bright may not tell D-Class personnel, newly recruited staff, anyone that SCP-920 will show them to their quarters. Again, we are still looking for 12 D-Class personnel who have disappeared in the Pyrenees. Dr. Bright may never attempt to ingest SCP-1842 to win a pie-eating contest, nor any other kind of eating or drinking contest. After what happened last month, Dr. Bright is not allowed to watch Firefly ever again. I think most of the people involved, that are still alive, are still in the psychiatric ward. Dr. Bright is not a brown coat, and we can stop the signal. Dr. Bright is a leaf on the wind. Watch him so... Still too soon? Okay. Dr. Bright is not allowed to come within 5 meters of any explosive device or detonation device. Remember what happened at Area Redacted. Not even if Dr. Iceberg asked nicely. Trying to blow up 682 is not a valid excuse. Attempting to make shadow puppets with SCP-0187 is forbidden. Trying to entertain SCP-00053 is not a valid excuse. Dr. Bright is no longer allowed to stand in a corner and twiddle his thumbs. Dr. Bright is no longer allowed to use the word swag, swagget, swaginator, swagify, or super swag to define himself or any other persons. YOLO is not a valid excuse for anything, most especially because it does not apply to him. Neither is why not. Dr. Bright is not allowed to order D-class personnel, convince new personnel, any personnel, ask anybody ever to play a game of patty cake with SCP-049. Oh, the Plague Doctor. I know that one. Plague Doctor that literally turns everyone he touches into a zombie. Or pretty much immediately kills them, and then turns them into a zombie. Dr. Bright is not allowed to ask Mr. Deeds to do any of the things on this list. Dr. Bright is not allowed to bring chocolate into a restroom. Dr. Bright is not allowed to bring any food into a restroom. Dr. Bright is not allowed to speak in a voice resembling a movie character. Dr. Bright is not allowed to reenact any movie, even G-rated ones. Even G-rated ones! Dr. Bright is not allowed to learn cheerleader routines just like a cheerleader. Do anything relating to the sport of cheerleading. SCP-5957 is not a prerequisite to becoming possessed by Dr. Bright. Dr. Bright is not allowed access to SCP-1197 for the purpose of corroborating with himself. Dr. Bright is not allowed to access SCP-1197 for the purpose of propositioning himself. As of the 26th of September, Dr. Bright is not allowed to access to any hotel for any reason. Site redacted budget does not allow for extra cleanup fees, especially not as a result of Dr. Bright's actions. Give me one quick second, I'll be right back. Je suis retourné. Je suis retourné. I needed to get a little drink for myself. I just drink it. There we go. Ooh, my throat. I've had better bodies with better throats. Oh my god. Ooh, I mean, this is my only body I've ever had, and I'm Rushi, and everything. Dr. Bright is no longer allowed to say everything the Bright touches is our kingdom. Aww. Dr. Bright may not attempt to digitally enhance any of the original Star Wars movies. Dr. Bright is not allowed to use this list as a to-do list. Dr. Bright is not L. Ron Hubbard incarnate, and is not allowed to tell personnel otherwise. Dr. Bright is not Sherlock Holmes, and not allowed to say that what he thinks a person's appearance means about them to any reality-bending SCP. Dr. Bright is not allowed to cause a containment breach of any kind just so he can have a case. Neither is he allowed to convince anyone to be Watson. Aww. Hey, you, Lau, in the chat. You wanna be Watson? You wanna be Watson? Wanna be Watson? Dr. Bright may not urge bereaved staff members to look at the bright side, nor is he allowed to refer to any name-related puns as his bright ideas. Dr. Bright is not allowed to refer to any SCPs, foundations, resources, or personnel as his fancy dancing pants. Dr. Bright is not allowed to use SCP-1994-J with Dr. Kane. Hours of actual productive research are as of yet to be recovered. Dr. Bright is no longer allowed to play chicken with members of any department. Dr. Bright is not allowed to order the works from the cafeteria. Dr. Bright is also not allowed to put anything on his tab. Dr. Bright is no longer allowed to commit seppuku, even if he has an audience, especially a captive one. Dr. Bright is not in possession of any of the following: a Brightmobile, brighter rags, a bright claw, a bright suit, or a baseball bright. Dr. Bright is not allowed to yell, "To the Bright Cave!" Dr. Bright is also not allowed to sing Silent Night following the All Is Bright incident. Dr. Bright is no longer allowed to commission, produce, advertise, or display animated videos of containment stuff. Anyone with this subject, what happens when you fuck up containing SCP? Insert SCP here. No, it is not educational, Bright. Not the way you show it. Dr. Bright is not allowed funding to replicate experiments of Dr. Krieger from Archer. Dr. Bright is not allowed to try to convince personnel to replicate his famous high dive into SCP-120. He is not allowed to talk about his famous dive into SCP-120. Dr. Bright is not to be referred to as Rainbow Bright. Dr. Bright is not allowed access to infants for the purpose of becoming the baby New Year. Dr. Bright is not allowed to create the things Dr. Bright is allowed to do with the Foundation list by listing everything that isn't on this list. Just because it isn't on this list doesn't mean that you should do it. He may, however, request for one to be created. He may not, however, suggest that what should be said on it. Dr. Bright is not to attempt to neutralize SCP-1013 just because he can do Fluttershy stare. Dr. Bright must not create an infinite logical loop to less feeble-minded individuals. There is no such department known as the Bright Ideas Department Furthermore, if such a department did exist, Dr. Bride would not be in the employ of this department. Dr. Bride is not allowed to throw himself through a window. To prove that the glass is unbreakable for any reason whatsoever. Dr. Bride is not allowed to convince D-Class anybody to cuff in front of SCP-0449. Again, the Plague Doctor. Dr. Bride is not allowed to use any green dyes for the purpose of being creative. Green is not a creative color. Oh no. Because reasons will no longer be accepted as a viable excuse for removing any SCP from containment. Dr. Bride may not refer to anyone as peasant. Aw, I like that part. Dr. Bride is not allowed to attempt to convince D-Class personnel, New Class personnel, anyone that shouting "Bing Bong, bring it on" while ringing SCP-513 will negate its effects. Dr. Bride is not allowed to arrange gladiatorial arena combat between D-Class, even especially if any SCPs are used as weapons. SCP-173 does not just want a hug, and Dr. Bride may not attempt to convince anyone otherwise. Because there is an alternative universe me who wouldn't do it is no longer a valid reason for violating containment procedures. Dr. Bride is not allowed to attack instances of SCP-217, claiming that the Borg have attacked. Dr. Bride is not allowed access to visual or audio recordings of the dance craze dubbed the Harlem Shake, anything deemed viable. Dr. Bride is not allowed to start any drag races between D-Class in the cars and SCP-096. Dr. Bride is not allowed to yell out "Immigration!" near any foreign personnel. Dr. Bride is not allowed to reenact any scene from Pulp Fiction. Dr. Bride is not allowed to convince new personnel anyone to have a friendly staring contest with SCP-096. Dr. Bride is not allowed to open SCP-1025 on random pages in front of anyone. Dr. Bride is not allowed to dare anyone to finish SCP-1997. Dr. Bride is not allowed to send a slinky down SCP-087. The infinite staircase. Dr. Bride is not an instance of SCP-1000 and is not allowed to claim otherwise. Especially not when using the body of a primate. Dr. Bride is not allowed to use SCP-884 for shaving purposes, nor any other personal care purpose, nor for any non-approved purpose whatsoever, especially not for the purpose of making people doubt that he's not allowed to use it. Dr. Bride is not allowed to claim that researcher Zinkeryu is the new master of butterflies due to her extensive work on the butterfly-related SCP items. King of the Butterflies is not an inheritable title. No, not even if Kondraki is really dead. Which, if true, Dr. Bride isn't clear to know. Researcher Zinkeryu is also not to be referred to by Dr. Bride as Queen of the Butterflies, Mistress of the Butterflies, Supreme Princess of the Butterflies, Great Shepherd of the Butterflies, Second Cousin of the Butterflies, or Major Associate of the Butterflies, or any other grandiose title referring to butterflies. Dr. Bride is not allowed to tell new Foundation recruits fictional horror stories involving his family. Dr. Bride is not allowed to tell new Foundation recruits factual horror stories involving his family. He is definitely not allowed to edit the list just to mess with the people on Tumblr. We do not talk about bottle dick, especially not over the site intercom, loudspeaker, megaphone, phone chat, megaphone, group chat, email, or any other device intended to speak to large numbers of people at the same time. We really mean it about editing the list to mess with people on Tumblr. Dr. Bride is not allowed to transfer his consciousness onto a YouTuber in order to make serious videos about himself or his family. Especially if it's all true. Dr. Bride is not Hades, nor is he any other Greek god. I don't care if it's Hercules' version or Elora Olympus. Wash off the blue body paint now. And please stop trying to set your hair on fire. I don't want to set my... I don't want to stop setting my hair on fire. You can't stop me. You can stop me. I want to be Hades. There are no plans to shut down any site to prevent COVID-19 infection. That being said, if certain staffers do not start washing their goddamn hands after using the bathroom, Dr. Bright has full permission to be himself at them. I'm looking at you, Magnus. And that's the end of the list! We got through it! We got through it! We got through it! We got through the list. We got through the list. Did it? We got through it. We did it. All of the things I mean Dr. Bright is not allowed to do at the Foundation. What a nice list. I think I'm gonna do all of them. Anyway, let me just change this. Oh, this was nice. Oh, I've been reading for a while now. But I don't feel like I'm done with streaming just yet. Maybe I'll stream later today. It's good to have a body. I mean, it's good to be me. It's good to be me. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. This was great. Oh shit, I'm playing both songs at the same time. There we go. There we go. I'm not dumb. I swear. I swear I'm dumb. I am very dumb. We fixed it. We fixed it. We fixed it. Alright, see you all in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. And with that... No, I'm not taking the pendant off. You can stop me. Nope, no. My pendant. I'm not gonna stop wearing it. And with that... Goodbye!